The Anaheim Ducks have been one of the worst teams over the past 5 seasons in the NHL, and they are currently going through a rebuild, so that is exactly what I'm going to be doing in this video. Here in NHL 24, I have 5 full seasons to win the Ducks a Stanley Cup. Now, we do know the Anaheim Ducks have a lot of young, nice pieces like Trevor Zegras, who's still only 22 years old, 85 overall, Leo Carlsson, who's an 18-year-old himself. Also, a guy like Mason McTavish usually grows to a pretty high overall. Now, we only have 5 years to win them a cup, which honestly makes this way more challenging, but I think I can get the job done. I mean, their depth isn't honestly terrible, and we do have the updated rosters. Ratko Gudas is on the squad with Cam Fowler. Brian Dumoulin is there. Mintyukov, who I will throw on the first-line pair. He can grow to like a 90+. And in goal, we have a pretty older John Gibson, who is 30 years old, but a young Lucas Dostal, who's only 23, and he can grow to mid-80s, maybe even a 90 if we develop him nicely. But I mean, the fact that we only have 5 years to do so, probably not going to happen, so I might make some moves. Might just let my young players develop and hopefully become a Stanley Cup contender in year 2 or 3. For the contracts, I believe we are good. Not too many players, if anybody, needs to be re-signed. Lacombe does, but he's an RFA at 81 overall, only 22, so he should be easy to get back. Everybody else is locked up here for the Anaheim Ducks, including our goalies and Lucas Dostal and John Gibson. The first order of business is to align some players, go out and get players that are on the same timeline that our team is. So Jack Quinn and Bowen Byram from the Buffalo Sabres for Troy Terry, 2 seconds, and Frank Vetrano. The trade has been accepted from Buffalo. It is a done deal. So GM Pasta already is wheeling and dealing. I mean, the older players, I don't think by year number 5, they'll be like 31, 32 years old. They're not on our timeline. Might as well go young. And by year 3, 4, and 5, we can compete for a Stanley Cup. Next up on the agenda is grabbing a nice defenseman, Nika Shin, I believe his name is. We picked him up in one of my other rebuilds. He signed for 4 years on a rookie contract, so that is just perfect. That means we don't have to sign him until the very last season. So we're giving him Gudas, Fowler, and 2 second-round picks. Trade has been rejected. Totally unwilling, so I think I will have to slot in a 2029 first-rounder, which we will not even be able to use. We are saving salary to re-sign our pending free agents. Okay. Instead, I'm going to throw in a guy who makes the minimum league salary to see if this trade will go through, and they are not comfortable dealing, so I'm going to move on to a new team. I'm going to go after Alex Vlasic from the Chicago Blackhawks. 85 overall, medium elite defender for pretty much the same package that I was going to give Carolina. And Chicago, of course, and their dumb management accepted that offer. So we got a bright young defenseman who already is really good and also very, very young. Next up is to go out and get Dustin Wolf, who is extremely cheap to get. He has basically no trade value for John Gibson and a few picks to make the deal go through, and luckily it has. Now, after the moves I made, we got Carlson, Zegras, and Quinn on the first line, a +5. Then we have Killorn, McTavish, and Gauthier. Our third line's pretty good with Lundstrom, Strome, and Fabry. This is where we shine, though. Defensively, Mintyukov and Vlasic, a +5. Then we have Lacombe and Byram, Zellweger and Leno, and then finally in goal, 2 young goalies in Dustin Wolf and Lucas Dostal, who are both very young in overall and in age. Now, at the end of season 1, obviously we were not a great team. 31, 37, and 14. We were over 500 at one point, but then we fell off as the season went on. 76 points, second last in the division for the entire NHL. The Oilers, I mean, they damn near won 60 games on the year. New York won 58. Colorado was up there, the Devils, and Dallas. Surprisingly, Alex Killorn was our leading scorer. 32 goals and 73 points. McTavish had 59. Zegras had a good season. Carlson was okay, 25 goals. Jack Quinn was pretty good as well. Cutter Gauthier was kind of disappointing, but I mean, we're not a great team, so I'm not expecting too much. And Dustin Wolf, I mean, he had a horrible season, and Lucas Dostal wasn't that much better. Only played 19 games, though. Nathan MacKinnon will end up leading the entire NHL in goals with 53 and points with 116, followed by Zach Hyman, who had 104. Leon Draisaitl was up there. Mikko Rantanen had a good season, as well as Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews, who, I mean, did score 50 goals and 97 points on the year. And the Edmonton Oilers will go on and beat the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Finals here in year number 1 to win the Stanley Cup. Matthews would finally wake up in the postseason, 18 goals, 37 points. Nylander had 33, Morgan Riley 30, Jack Hughes was up there, Marner had a good postseason. McDavid, surprisingly, was almost a little too quiet. He only played 17 games, but had 10 goals and 21 points against the Edmonton Oilers, were just that dominant. Nathan MacKinnon will win the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Makar the Norris, the Conn Smythe will go to Philip Broberg. In what planet is Philip Broberg the Conn Smythe winner? Holy hell. Igor will take home the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly. Unfortunately, we will not select first overall in the NHL draft. We moved down, actually, from 5th to 6th, so that's not great. I think I'm going to take Berkeley Catton. I'm not too sure how the other guys grow in this game, so I'm going to go with the safe pick, which is Berkeley Catton, a centerman who does have medium elite potential at a 75 overall. We'll take a defenseman with our 32nd pick, Henry Muse. Welcome to the Anaheim Ducks. It was an easy decision to sign Dustin Wolf to a $5 million 3-year contract, which honestly leads us up to the second last season of the video. We went out in the offseason and free agency and signed a 45 goal scorer in Daniel Sprong to a massive contract for 5 years at $7.5 million. He's only 27, so we can maybe grow to like an 87, 88 overall. I think it is time to reunite the best friends in Anaheim, Caulfield and Philip Jackeye. I believe it's Philip, but it's Jackye's brother, for Jack Quinn Reinstrom, a first, second, and a third. And the Montreal Canadiens have no problem making that deal. And there we go. We got our first line sniper to pair alongside Leo Carlsson and Trevor Zegras. Now, heading into season number 2, we got McTavish, Carlson, and Caulfield in the first line, a +5. Also, Daniel Sprong, who is a sniper, scored 45 last season, alongside Cutter Gauthier and Trevor Zegras. Our top 6 is filthy. Defensively, Vlasic is up to a 90 with Mintyukov 85, Zellweger and Byram, and then finally Lacombe and Leno. And in goal, we have an 87 overall Dustin Wolf with an 85 Lucas Dostal. So we can pretty confidently rotate the goalies as we wish. And we got Mason McTavish to renew his contract. We locked him up long-term for the rest of the video, as well as Bowen Byram on pretty cheap deals. So we got our young core ready. We are ready to compete in year 3, 4, and 5. That is the plan here. So in year number 2, the Anaheim Ducks have made the postseason. 46, 31, and 5, 97 points. Calgary was not very good, so they were below us. But we finally made the postseason in only year number 2. So our rebuild is getting quicker than I thought, honestly. The Oilers, again, defending champs, 51 wins, President's Trophy. They're the best team in the NHL right now. Winnipeg had 50 wins. New York was up there. Vancouver and Ottawa as well. Cole Caulfield was our leading scorer. 46 goals, 92 points. I mean, he is statistically our best player at a 90. Leo Carlsson at 69. McTavish, 67. Zegras was pretty good, not going to lie, on that second line. Sprong only scored 22 goals. But, I mean, his shooting was around the same. His shot percentage was down in the dirt, though, to be honest. Mintyukov had a pretty good season. Oh, my God. Cutter Gauthier, 15 goals, 48 points. We might have to get rid of Cutter. He doesn't simulate too well. He probably has some trade value. I need guys that simulate well. And there it is. Dustin Wolf, 910 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and 31 victories. A very solid season by him. Sidney Crosby, at 37 years of age, will tie for the most goals with Zach Hyman at 53, but have the most points at 111, followed by Bedard, who had 110, Hyman 108, Clayton Keller was up there at 99, Ranton at 99. Holy hell, Crosby. Did you ever have yourself a season? Brady Tkachuk scored 53 goals. Bedard had 51. Clayton Keller had 50. What is going on in the simulation right now? Brady Tkachuk scored more goals than Austin Matthews. What? And here we go. The Ducks are back in the postseason up against the Winnipeg Jets in round number 1. Unfortunately, we did get swept in the first round by the Winnipeg Jets, but we did gain some playoff experience. So we should be able to head into year number 3, make the postseason, and then hopefully go on a deep playoff run. Edmonton would make the finals yet again, but lose to the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. So Edmonton, man, do they ever simulate well in this game. Cutter Gauthier was the only point per game player on our team in the postseason. He did have 3 goals, but in the season, he didn't really simulate that well. So maybe we do have to move off of him. Zegras had 3 points, McTavish 3, Mintyukov 2. So we were just not that good in the playoffs. First playoff run ever. I expected us to have some struggles. Zach Hyman will take on the Ted Lindsay, Maurice Richard, and the Hart Trophy, while Crosby will win the Art Ross. I don't know how Crosby did not win the other awards. Quinn Hughes the Norris, the Conn Smythe will go to Marty Natchez, Connor Hellebuyck the Vezina, and Crosby will take home the Selke Trophy. I think I might have found a gem here in the draft. Jakub Kubina from, I have no idea, maybe the Czech Republic. We scouted him. He's got A pluses or A's across the board, NHL ready, and a similar style is Vladimir Tarasenko. He's medium elite potential, and there we go, 79 overall. What an absolute steal of a pick for Anaheim here at 22. So we got Robbie Fabry back for one more season. We signed our young guys, all of our prospects now. Some of them might start, some of them might not, but we did need to sign them regardless. So I saw in free agency that Mikko Rantanen is available. I'm going after him. Fowler and Killorn both are leaving our team to go to Chicago for Lucas Reichel and a second round pick. We did it. We went out in free agency, signed Rantanen to a 16.8 one-year deal. So then in the re-sign phase, we can lowball offer him. He accepted. So welcome a 95 overall to the Anaheim Ducks. We also went out and got a depth forward in Yanni Gourde, who only wanted 3.5 mil for 3 years. So that is a steal of a deal for an 85 overall third line forward that we just grabbed up out of nowhere. Now, as we go into year number 3, I mean, I think our rebuild is going to be sped up with picking up Mikko Rantanen, 95 overall alongside McTavish and Caulfield. And then we have Zegras, Karlsson, and Gauthier, Robbie Fabry alongside Yanni Gourde and Daniel Sprong. Defensively, Vlasic and Zellweger on that first line D pair, an offensive defenseman with a defensive defenseman. And then we have Leno, Mintyukov, Byram, and Lacombe. And then finally, an 88 overall Dustin Wolf with an 85 backup in Lucas Dostel. We locked up Leno on a long contract extension. We also got back Olin Zellweger, Pavel Mintyukov renewed, Leo Carlsson renewed. We literally got everybody back that I offered. Trevor Zegras is the only guy I didn't offer, because honestly, I might end up trading him. Finally, the Anaheim Ducks are improving at the top of the Pacific. 45, 26, and 11, 101 points, the best team in our division. And we were a top 6 team in the entire league behind Florida, Chicago, Winnipeg, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh. How are the Penguins this good like 3 years in? They should be all old and retired by now. Cole Caulfield yet again will lead our team, 45 goals, 94 points. Rantanen had 43 and 84 points, so a solid season. I expected a little more, honestly, out of a 95 overall franchise player, but I guess it is what it is. McTavish, he had 78, Zegras 63, Zellweger had a good season, Sprong was very good, 27 goals, Carter Gauthier might be the guy to go, and Leo Carlsson had a massive regress now that he's on the second line. And for Dustin Wolf, only a 908, did have 3 shutouts and 35 victories. Somehow, some way, Josh Morrissey will have the most points out of any player. 110 on the season at a 95 overall. Hyman had 106, McDavid 106, Matthews was up there. The Winnipeg Jets must have been very good. And if we take a look at the goal side, we got Ovi, who had 56 on the year. Hyman had 51 goals, McKinnon 46, and Forsberg had 46 himself at a 94 overall. And now in the first round of the postseason, we do have to go up against the Colorado Avalanche, who are a very good team in this game and do sim very well. Somehow, some way, we literally dominated Colorado, sweeping them in the process, and now we face the Vancouver Poverty Canucks in round number 2. We got rid of Vancouver in 5 games, and now we have reached the conference finals, playing the Chicago Blackhawks, who by this time are a very good team with Connor Bedard, who's almost at his prime. Not almost at his prime, but he's probably like a 90 plus overall at this point. All right, so here we are, game 7 of the conference finals. In overtime, we were leading 2-1 in the third period, but we cannot hold on to the lead. Mikko Rantanen waiting in middle. Somebody, please. I wanted somebody to shoot that puck. We are trying to go to the Stanley Cup finals for the first time since when? 2007 was the last time Anaheim was here. What a save by Dustin Wolf. Vlasic up to Zellweger, up to Lacombe. Is that Lacombe? No, this is Cole Caulfield. In the middle, Rantanen, what a save by the Blackhawks netminder. Back to Rantanen, another, it's Igor Shesterkin. No way the Blackhawks have Igor. I mean, no wonder the Blackhawks are so good. They have Igor Shesterkin, who's probably like a 95 overall in this game. Win that drop, Bedard wins it clean. Absolutely clean by Bedsy. Oh no, Kurashev coming in, Kurashev over. There we go, we're headed to the power play. Go to the net, go to the net. Dustin Wolf wide. There we go. Skate. You were almost as slow as Pekka Pasta. Cole Caulfield coming in. The cock. Looking. Caulfield. Why? This is a massive power play. Is that Leo Carlsson? It is. Zegras, Carlsson, and I don't even know who the other guy is. There it is. Fabry. Why? Why Robbie Fabry, a floaty backhander? Come on, Carlson. Oh, no. I should have thrown PP1 out there. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I think I'm going to do that. PP1, get out there. How did that puck go the entire length of the ice? Oh, my God. Cutter Gauthier. Here we go. Gauthier. Over to McTavish. Mason. Body of Mason. Come on, McTavish. What are you doing? Dickinson. Nice. Gauthier. Rantanen. There it is! Mason McTavish will score in overtime to send the Anaheim Ducks back to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in the GM Pasta era, as in year number 3, the Ducks will play for Lord Stanley. Captain Mason McTavish. I didn't even name him the captain, but honestly, I'm keeping with it after what he's just done. He punched our ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Ducks will face an older 40-year-old Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins, trying to win one more with Sid before he retires. Or will the new age Ducks, with all their young talent, take over and get the job done? And here we go, 37 seconds away from winning the Stanley Cup. Our defenseman Vlasic scored to take the lead after losing it. Caulfield coming in. What a save by Blomqvist. After losing the lead multiple times, Alex Vlasic took the lead in the third period. My defenseman that I traded for in year number 1. And there it is, the Stanley Cup, waiting to be presented to the Anaheim Ducks. 22 seconds to go in the third period. A 1-goal lead for the Anaheim Ducks. Oh no, come on. Play in their zone, please. Gauthier. Over to McTavish. Back to Rantanen shooting. We got full pressure. We are all over the Pens right now. Come on, win the draw. There we go. Mason. Zellweger shooting. Great rebound. Oh no, one final rush for Pittsburgh. 9 seconds to go. McTavish wins it. Back to Zellweger. Rantanen. We're all over them. And GM Pasta will not need the 5 years, as the Anaheim Ducks in year number 3 will get the job done. It only took GM Pasta 3 seasons to build a Stanley Cup champion here in Anaheim. We did have a lot of young pieces, so I don't want to take too much credit. We still have young guys that I drafted that literally did not even play a lick in the NHL. Defensemen, obviously we drafted a forward as well, but it doesn't matter, as in 4 games, the Anaheim Ducks will sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins as Captain Mason McTavish. 6 goals, 24 points, a Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Definitely well-deserved, as he has been our best player in the playoff run. He sent us to the Stanley Cup Finals in overtime as well. We cannot forget about that, as there it is, the Stanley Cup waiting to be presented to the Ducks here in Anaheim for the first time since, I believe, 2007, as Captain Mason McTavish will come collect the Stanley Cup, as the Anaheim Ducks in year number 3 with GM Pasta in charge have got the job done. For the playoff run, McTavish, we know, had 6 goals, 24 points. Mikko Rantanen, and there it is, a 95 overall pickup, 13 goals and 23 points. Cutter Gauthier stepped up when we needed him the most, as well as Cole Caulfield. Mintyukov was pretty good, and if we take a look at Dustin Wolf, he had a .925 save percentage and a 16-4 record. We were just the best team in the postseason. Absolutely dominated our way through the entire playoffs. Zach Hyman will take home the Ted Lindsay and Hart Trophy. Art Ross to Josh Morrissey, and Ovi the Maurice Richard. That is very weird. Morrissey will also win the Norris Trophy. The Conn Smythe, obviously, to McTavish. Blomqvist will win the Vezina on Pittsburgh. And the Selke will go to Nick Suzuki of the Montreal Canadiens. And that will do it for this video. It only took GM Pasta 3 seasons to win the Anaheim Ducks a Stanley Cup. They did have a very good young core, so I don't want to take all the credit, but I made the moves necessary to go on and be a Stanley Cup champion. Obviously, this is the first team I'm doing. Next up will be the Boston Bruins, so stay tuned for that. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.